Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Yep, it's one of them Mondays, Cowboys fans.
For sure, for sure. Wow.
Welcome back to another episode, another live show. I'm your host, Lou's Takes, but today we got a special guest, Craven Cowboys in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Really appreciate you having me on, Lou. It's actually my first time being on your show. Subscribed to you just a little while ago. I'm actually kind of new to send me your content, and I gotta say that's a dope ass intro, right, man? I was grooving behind the scenes. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, it's only a minute long, man. I need a minute of that right quick. But
You know,
I really,
yeah.
I really appreciate you having me on. But yeah, this is actually my second year going into creating content for the Dallas Cowboys. I've been out to the training camp a couple times. Actually, my name is actually created my name Craven Cowboys because outside of football and everything, I do like to cook. Just a little bit. I ain't no chef or nothing like that. I also like to eat. So I was like, I just need a kind of a creative name, in Cowboys. Two C's. And I'm like, man, I'm always craving something, right? I'm trying to figure out, always trying to figure out what to eat for dinner, right? So I'm like, Craven Cowboy sounds like a good name. So, I kind of just, took the name and kind of ran with it, just really just kind of taking my second year into creating content and just kind of trying to be more in depth with, just some of my notes and just some, I'm no film expert, nothing like that. More so on the fan side, but, I love talking about the Cowboys and just really just connecting with other Cowboys fans because before, I really just started watching football around like 2009, 2010. I believe that year where the Saints were on like that winning streak, and the Cowboys, I think, was the only team that beat them that year. And, my pops is a Cowboys fan, so I kind of mostly got it from him. So I just really, started to learn the NFL more and more, and just just kind of coming to my second year. I said, I just want to kind of get more in depth with it, and just kind of get more behind the scenes of football, and just learn as I go along, and just like I said, meeting other fans, but meeting other creators like you. As you guys, if you guys are familiar with me, I do my show with Star every Wednesday, 7:30, 8:30 Eastern. Make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, and I love my girl Star. Like I love doing shows with her, and she really just gives me a lot of motivation to really keep going and just seeing other women in the spaces, and just really having more so of a voice, and really just women being taken more serious, with their takes and their analysis as well. I just love seeing shout out to Miss Aisha Morrison. Love seeing her do her thing. She's just amazing, brilliant, and sorry, Lou, I'm taking over, but I really appreciate
you. Good.
Really appreciate you having me on my show.
Whatever. Keep my mind off these notes I got right here, because Lord knows I got notes today.
Right.
Yeah, I never knew that. That's very. Yeah, I never knew where you got your name from. That's very creative though. Yeah. And shout out to my boy Shane Haley. He's an artist. He made the beat. He makes music. So yeah, I do need to extend it. I should extend it a little bit. I need to.
Very much so.
I gotta get back in the editing thing, but you editing so.
Either after a win or a loss, you can kind of vibe coming. You know what I'm saying?
The Cowboys gotta earn more time in my intro. I ain't gonna lie. After what went on today, shout out to everyone that's in the chat. If you knew, wherever you watching from, make sure you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Craven Cowboys. They're doing amazing things, like she was saying. She went over like Aisha. I appreciate all the women in this stratosphere, even though they're the minorities. Especially, I'm gonna give a shout out to the black women. You know what I'm saying, for sure.
They doing
but who don't care about us apparently is these doggone Cowboys, man. What a game! Man. What a game yesterday. Let me sit up. Oh my God.
Yeah, how you playing when they say you playing the game and you sit up, that's when you start getting serious. Yeah, it's about,
I have to
get serious, right quick.
I have to. I have to. These Cowboys, we the only fan base. I feel like we the only fan base to deal with this. We the only ones that got to deal with this stress, man. I did a whole series last week. It was the Desperation Bowl. Yeah, and I talked about how important this game was, and the just the ramifications if we lost this game.
Right.
And I can tell you the Cowboys didn't take it the same way. We keep starting slow. I hate when teams start slow. What were you doing all week? Like, let's just go. How did you feel about the start our starts this year.
Yeah, no, like first of all, and I think I mentioned that last week, on my own show when they played the Saints. First of all, I didn't like I guess I say the lack of crowd involvement. The Saints got the ball first, right? I understand, you want to give them the ball first. I don't, there's definitely no slight on them doing that. But like, where's the crowd noise? Just it's third. We got them to third and down. First of all. You know what I'm saying? I still believe it was still in their own territory, but I'm like, I'm listening for the crowd, right? I'm like, okay, we got to get loud. We got to get them off their, knock them off their heels early. But it's like, bro, like you hardly hear the crowd. You know what I'm saying? That kind of just continued throughout the game. And I'm like, first of all, that kind of blew me. But yeah, just more so for this game, it just, we started off, like you said, we started off slow, didn't have tempo. I think I tweeted out early in the game, like we need to start with tempo. So that way the guys can just kind of get into a rhythm. And we saw that week one versus the Browns. They came out, had tempo, you know what I'm saying? Just had some no huddle in there, mixed in there as well. So I just think that kind of gets not only a groove between Dak and CD, who, we saw was off yesterday, but it also gets him in the groove with Jake Ferguson, who came back this game, gets into maybe if you start getting the guys involved a little bit earlier, gets him, that group with Lipke as well, and Turpin we saw get involved as well.
Yeah. Let me. You starting with offense? This is my offensive note. So let me go over what I saw. I went over the 22, all 22. I'll dissect some film. What I noticed, what was the reason why Cowboys fans, while we were struggling in the game, it was the offensive line. The offensive line. Shout out to Mama. Game Mama.
Hey, look, that's where it all starts, right? That's where it all starts. Shout out to Mama.
Right. The offensive line is the reason why we couldn't get anything done last week. Everyone wants to blame Dak. CD, they have their part, but I blame the offensive line. One, man, our young guys are struggling. Our tackles are struggling. We cannot stop the games. I put out a video of the linebacker started from like the other A gap and like went on a whole like stunt and like blatantly went to the hip of Tyler Guyton, like passed by the guard and literally hit Tyler Guyton. These teams are attacking our young guys. They're desperate.
Yeah.
We're leaving them on islands.
I noticed that too. Like it just seemed like, and even in week one, we saw them sending help to Guyton's way, and even there were times that he struggled, and then even later in the game, we saw them sending help his way. But I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the 22, but I saw them, I guess, more so sending help Steele's way than vice Guyton's way. I'm like, I mean, we see the pressure coming in the pocket, like you saw, like to your point, we saw the stunts. I mean, early on too, and we saw. I wanted to see more adjustment with that. I mean, I understand it takes time for these guys to get in the groove, but yeah, Guyton. I saw BB whip a couple times in the game, but yeah, Guyton definitely had himself a tough weekend, and Steele as well.
Yeah, Guyton's been he's been reverting back to his draft weaknesses. He's been reverting back. I know he came in at the offseason. He worked with I forgot, I'm blanking on his name, and he worked with Solaris, and he's trying to get out of those habits. But there's difference when you're in a fight. When you're in a fight, everything goes out the window, and you are what you are. These are growing pains. So yeah, that we couldn't. And then also Mike McCarthy in these route combinations did not help.
Like this game is the one that kind of knocks me back a little bit with my confidence in Mike McCarthy, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a big stan coming into the season. I just knew, even coming off last season, it's not like for no reason, but I had faith that McCarthy could kind of take this team to the next step, right? When we saw last year that they had the camaraderie, and we seen even years before that they had the camaraderie, but we didn't necessarily sometimes see the execution on the field. So I just thought that maybe the second year with his play calling, these guys would start gelling. I mean, we heard it kind of, I don't want to say rehearsed, but we kind of heard it, said through the offseason. Now, okay, now it's just year two. All we have to do is play. It's no more install. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. But all we have to do is go out and play. We have to go out and do what we know. But it's like, there's still struggles. But there's something I kind of came up my mind while I was in Spaces earlier today. That it just kind of sucks that we can talk about McCarthy, and he does. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the blame, but what's the one thing? I mean, we all know that was missing throughout this whole time that McCarthy was going through the second year of his quote unquote install. was his number one wide receiver pretty much all the way up through camp, right? So how do you expect them to, and something, just me talking to Jerry here, like, yeah, you want all this to be, you want them to come out strong week one, but how do you expect the chemistry to be there when your number one wide receiver wasn't there, period? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, but getting back to McCarthy, like, yeah, to your point, I just was highly unsatisfied with the play calling, because it's one thing when you want to come out, I don't want to say vanilla, but conservative. I say you're running on first down, you're trying to get the run game going. I understand, but just doing shows early in the week, we knew the front seven, the front four, was really their standout guys. Those are the guys that make the plays. Those are the guys that lead the team in tackles week to week. So we know that's going to be hard to run these guys, but. So to still come out with a plan, even you come out second quarter after halftime, make the adjustment to, hey man, and we saw plays down the field. We saw Jake Ferguson catching balls down the seam. We saw deep passes to Turpin. Hey, you're getting Turpin involved. Cool, I'm cool with it. Lippy's getting the pass down the field. Okay, well, where was this the first half? Where was this energy? Hey, first quarter. Like I'm just speaking on the tempo tip that we talked about earlier. Like just come out faster. And just me kind of getting on McCarthy a little bit. I want to see a little bit more of the playbook. You know what I'm saying? We're playing. We're facing playoff teams early on. We got hit with the schedule. Let's open up this playbook.
You are 100% correct. I don't know where I want to stay right here, but because I called in, during Boss's show. Shout out to Boss Cowboy, and he gonna want me to go on and elaborate on it. But
yes,
there's a sickness within the Cowboys organization. It's a disease. It is spreading from organ to organ, which is from position group to position group. Everything. You just mentioned. Shout out to Joe Trina, I think his name, Chachina.
Oh yeah. What's up, Joe?
Chachina, yeah. He hit it right on the head. All of this is a byproduct of Jerry. All of this. I like everything. Like
everything.
When doctors give you medicine, say you go in for like the flu, you go in for COVID, the doctors will give you medicine because they're going to treat it symptom by symptom. And we're never going to grow as an organization, be better. We're not going to solve the entire problem until we, treat this symptom by symptom. Here's some of the symptoms. Some of the symptoms we have is toughness, roster construction, politics, because I'm going to be honest, we're not playing the guys that should be playing. Some of these guys should be sitting down. Should be sitting down. And I can't help the conspiracies of that. This got Jerry's name all over it. Why are we seeing Micah Parsons stay at the end? I know why. When you
elevated Lawson.
I'm thinking
they elevated Lawson to give Parsons more opportunity to bounce around the line.
You know why they're keeping him at the end? The same reason why they didn't bump Tyler Smith back out to left tackle. It's more expensive. See, when you play these, I don't normally fool with this side of the Cowboys space. I let everyone else deal with that. I want to focus on film. But when it starts dealing with my X's and O's, this is when I have a problem. So, hostile work environment for coaches. Mike McCarthy's been dealing with this since he got here, even when Dan Quinn was here. Let's really talk about it. We're hiring people that we're going to threaten to replace them with. Neglecting outside help in the free agency. But what's his name? Big Game James said, "Look, you don't win Super Bowls in March, but you damn sure do lose them." I ain't gonna be effort, focus. You just talked about it. He just put it in the chat. The contract situation. We got our stars focus on trying to get their money, deflecting like bad news and everything like that. That's coming from the Joneses. This is what we're doing all week, keeping them from our team. Lack of cohesion. I mean, he ain't here. He ain't at practice. He can't get in the groove. Self-sabotaging.
Right, you can only watch. I don't mean cut you off, but you can only watch so much from a tablet. Like, yeah, CD can be like, yeah, I've been following along the whole time I've been away. Yeah, I've been in contact with the team. I've been throwing within. I still been throwing with Dak. I still been in the Dak yard. Yeah, this, that, and the third. But nothing is like, number one, being with your team, and nothing is like being around actual other football bodies who want to hit you physically. So you can't get. It's impossible, literally impossible to get ramped up in 2 games for everything you missed over 4, 5, 6 weeks of camp.
Right.
There's no way that CD be able to catch up.
Comfortability because if in the hiring process, I'm gonna be honest, I've noticed the trend of the Cowboys. We like to hire guys we're comfortable with, and we have an age limit. I don't want to be
Right.
ages.
Right.
But it seems they keep getting these, these coaches that's at the end who already been there, done that, and they're like on the way to retirement.
Like
So
you said, comfortability.
they don't have the energy to fight. Like honestly, I don't want Belichick. Belichick is like 1 foot in retirement. Like he may love the game, but he's one. Go get me a young guy that's not gonna want to mess up his future. That's gonna have time to fight the Joneses. And then greed and then frugality, we're just being too cheap. Like so, unless we go one by one and cure these symptoms of this, like it's spreading from disease to disease. CD was whining. CD was dragging his feet. CD was not being a team player. Who does that sound like? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help y'all out. Remember in the beginning of camp, who was whining? Who was dragging their feet? Who was not being a team player? The Joneses. The Joneses. I mean, we have this weird dynamic in the Cowboys room, and it's finally showing up on the film.
Yeah.
And we ain't gonna ever get better until they hurt their bottom line.
No, it's absolutely everything you're saying, like you said, and not just on the offensive side with CD having to hold out during the whole camp. Zimmer's having to come in and pretty much replace your whole linebacker room, bro. And he's having to replace them with guys that he knows that he's played with over the years. So, of course, it's going to have to be guys who are older. Why? Because Zimmer was in the league for years, but Zimmer was out the league for the last few years. So he can't go to get a guy. Well, he can get guys who were playing last year, but they're going to be guys who are older because Zimmer wasn't in the league last season. So he hasn't worked with this, I guess, quote unquote, newer generation that he was worried about, that they were worried about him being able to translate to. And it seemed like, and I'm not saying that hasn't translated yet, but we've seen in camp just how, just in my opinion, I've seen with my own eyes. It seemed like the defense changed. They're making stops in preseason. Turnovers in camp. Kendricks had a pick. I think Donovan Wilson had a pick. Trey Lance wasn't doing so well, so I can't go too much off some interceptions. Dak didn't have too many interceptions, but camp is camp. So even preseason is preseason, but we just haven't really seen it. We can't see enough. CD has said it. Dak has kind of said it in a way like these first few weeks are preseason for these guys because they didn't get a chance to actually play with these bodies in preseason. So it's like you said, it's just a whole cluster of everything that's kind of going on in the offseason. Like you said, you can only fix so much, right? You can only go out and get so many guys. Like they're only going to fix, I guess, quote unquote, the sore spots. So they go out and get cheap guys to fix the holes, to fix the DT position. They bring in guys from the running back room, but you essentially brought back Ezekiel Elliott and got rid of everybody else that you brought in. You just kept your draft pick and you kept Rico, who's been here for years. So you go cheap there. So it's like you're saying you can't afford Derrick Henry, but where's the money you quote unquote didn't have? But like, so where did you spend your money at? So what's the evidence of the money that you already spent when you couldn't afford Derrick Henry? So you know what I'm saying? So when he gets mad and saying, "Oh, the media's writing this," media's writing this, they saying this about what I said. I never said this, or they're trying to say I went cheap. It's like they don't have to say anything. Like number one, we already knew, and number two, it's obvious. We see that even though you went quote unquote and you went all in to in Jerry's eyes, we still see the lacking, and we saw the lacking in preseason. We still had questions coming into the season, so it wasn't like it was brand new. It's not new. To Jerry, it's not new. You know what I'm saying? So you knew you had these problems coming into the season. So for just Jerry, it's one thing that we already know, that the fans already know. You're trying to treat us like we don't know what's going on, but to stand 10 toes on it and keep going on with it, week 3 with it, like. I think on Spaces earlier I heard that our running back room had totally less than 20 carries. But you want to say we couldn't afford Derrick Henry, and it's not like he's saying we were just down bad, we couldn't afford him. He's saying that like we couldn't afford him, but he's saying that like we didn't need it. I see nothing wrong with the personnel.
Yeah, and you mentioned the run game. I can't I'm a fan. I'm tempered in the game and everything like that. I just can't help to wonder if we're not running the ball because Jerry wants his money worth out of the passing game. Like
He,
We're the only organization that has to deal with these crazy questions.
it's crazy. He's trying to talk out both sides of his neck. Like you just said, you want to bring back your guy, your running back guy, but you want to eat in the passing game. So what? So which one do you want? Which one do you want to work? Do you want the running game to be effective or the passing game? It took you all camp to sign your number one wide receiver. So meanwhile, Dak's getting chemistry and getting familiar with the other guys, but he's trying to force feed CD, but he doesn't have the chemistry. So it's like it's kind of like, and it's not Dak doing it intentionally, but you're kind of leaving the other guys high and dry where you're trying to get CD up to par, and it's like it's just uneven on both sides because these guys are ready to go. But you're still trying to get CD to come along, but at the same time, you're trying to force feed CD to come along. But now these other guys kind of left out hung out to dry. So it's like, and at the same time, you don't have the, like you said, like we were talking about earlier with the O line. Like we have rookies out there. I mean, we just it is what it is, and we have Steele coming back. Granted, it is a year off the injury, but he's still coming back. I'm saying, so we can't give him that much grace because I mean, granted, it's week 3. You had a great week 1, so we have to wonder what happened in the last 2 weeks. But it's and even I mean, and it's not just totally slashing down the offensive line. Tyler Smith had problems yesterday, so and Zach Martin was missing some like I mentioned earlier with the Browns game. He allowed the sack on the first play for the offense. So it's just our offensive line is all out of sorts right now. And Zach Martin went down. I think it was last week in the Saints game. Mm-hmm. Just for a little bit of time he came back, but it's just it's once again our offensive line just like last season is kind of all out of sorts.
Yeah,
with our starting 5, which is crazy.
And I don't think you remember when I went on your show. I was in the chat. I was like, one thing with CD finally getting paid, well, they taking too long to pay him. What about the food chain? Like, I know all these guys are getting like all the reps and they're getting better, but what about when it goes from 15 to 2? Like, and those 2 are amplified. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you only got 2 shots. That's a different type of dynamic. That's a dynamic you're affecting. Not even that. Now you paid CD. Ain't no telling what you souped his head up with when you paid him. Now he's coming in and he has this different dynamic, like he's not a part of the team. And all the teams, Dak is like, I've been here, even when I was trying to get paid. You see the dynamic was been created here. Like,
and I think it's, and just not trying to get too much on the defense, but just comparing because it was CD and Micah on the podcast talking about something. I want to be a leader. I want to be different coming into this year, and just kind of comparing, Dak being here, although he wasn't getting paid. Now, granted, it's not Micah's time to get paid, but Micah was here as well. Yep. So you see the development of Micah. He hasn't, and he kind of crept back to it yesterday a little bit in the game, kind of sat back, was kind of frustrated. Of course, we saw him going back and forth with D-Law, but you still see him active on the sideline, talking to the other players, talking to the coaches. Okay, what can we do? How can we get more involved? You see him, you've seen over the offseason him developing the relationships with Tyler Guyton, him developing a relationship with Marshawn Neal, and you're seeing Micah kind of come along more so in that leadership role. But with CD, you were there with Micah. We see Micah progressing. I'm saying, not saying because he progressed with all the talk with everything, but Micah said he's going to try. Micah said he's going to be in the film room. He was going to try to take on what Zimmer was bringing to the defense, and we see that. We see it. We're hearing it with Micah's interviews and things like that, and with coaches talking about Micah taking more on that role. And then with CD, we still see the behavior from Game 5 last year, from the Niners game. You pouting, going down the sideline, trying to be all to yourself. Catching attitudes with Dak and saying, "Give me the ball." Well, then we come to you with the ball, you dropping it,
and you're
getting penalties. You know what I'm saying? So that's what comes. And I don't know if not saying he doesn't understand it, but I don't know if he knows that. Like, CD, you're rusty. You may say, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." Yeah, you think you had the 2 games. Oh, I'm good and I'm good to go now. But it's gonna take that time. That's possibly why you're getting a penalty. That's possibly why you're dropping the ball, why you're fumbling. Because I know you're trying to do so much to help your team, but it's like, you're going to need that time to get right and tight with your game, because although you may not like it and it still may sting to this day, but you weren't here to be able to get that chemistry with your guys. So it's just going to take that time to get the offense going and to get CD going.
Yeah, CD pissed me off because CD and Micah, they're so young. They remind me of the little inflatable floaties that be in front of the dealership that be swing with the wind. That's their attitude.
Yes.
They'll
Ooh, you hit the
sway.
nail on the head.
They
You hit the nail on the
sway. They're so
head.
temperate. They're so. And when you press them about it, they become narcissistic, and they'll become
Like
they'll
you're the one with
guilt
the
trip.
problem.
They'll guilt
Right.
trip you, and I hate people like that. Big and then when it's all over, you see them on podcast. I'm not mad at your podcast, but it would piss me off when after the Green Bay loss, you were talking about, oh, man, we got to be better. I can't do that.
Right.
That pissed me off because in the moment you should be already thinking that.
Period.
Like
Period.
you're a grown adult. Yeah.
Right. Isn't that why Mike McCarthy brings in I think it's the O2X group? So that way the guys know how to handle high stress situations. Like you're supposed to know how to, and that to speak to Dak's point, be a professional. And Michael wants to say we shouldn't have to tell grown men how to act. And Okay, well, why are you on the sideline acting like that then? You know what I'm saying? You're making the millions of money. You wanted to get paid. You got your contract. You are the number one receiver. We know you're the heart and soul of this offense, but you just got to come correct. You cannot, and it's not like this is all brand new. Like I said, this happened last year in week 5. Bro, like granted, Mike McCarthy should be more along in this offense. He should be getting you the ball, but you're rusty right now. So and even if so, don't make it about you, bro. Like we are losing this game. They are going to talk about the L. Don't give them even more ammo on you. Now they got you on the field, throwing a tantrum on the field, bro. Like I know you're looking for the flag, but at the same time, with the whole optics of the whole game, it's like it's not a good look, not for you or the team. And then you skirt out and skip the media, which I understand, but at the same time, it's like that's just like it's not it, man. It's not it.
No, it's called accountability. I messed up. I effed up. I gotta own up to it and face my demons. I gotta do it.
Right.
Kids
right.
run away.
Heck, if Bryce can come out and be like, "Hey, man, I'm responsible for being benched," like, and I know it's not all his fault, but if he can face the media, I'm saying like you can face the media after a bad game, bro.
See, and like, shout out to Miss Lamb, but you can't be a yes man. Your mama, you gotta call out your baby when they wrong.
Right.
At least behind closed doors, because you know what that tells me. CeeDee Lamb was privileged as a kid. CeeDee Lamb got away with a lot of stuff as a kid. Nobody could tell him wrong. Nobody could tell his shit didn't stink. I can't have it. I can't have it, especially on the football field when you're one of the guys. The energy, you dictate a lot of the team's energy. We were coming back in the end. Dak was a warrior. Dak is a warrior, and you're on the sideline still pouting.
Thank you.
Football, yeah.
And what makes me even more upset about that is that, like, if you had the same mentality as everyone else, you probably could have been a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you are being the decoy, whether you are getting the ball, you could have helped us get, even if, like, I mean, granted, it does come down to one more possession. We were still down to 3 points, but
we score sooner.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was before halftime, so that was before the comeback. So if you just go into half, everyone going in the locker room at halftime, get your mind right. Okay, this is how you're gonna come out. And granted, you don't even get the ball first, so you have the defense has time to get out there and hopefully get a stop. You still have time to come out and see what's get even more of a feel in the game, and a feel of the game, and then get the offense together and top them up to come back on with this comeback. But it's just like, granted, the comeback was inspiring, but it's like it did suck to see CD on the sideline because it's like, wow, we doing all this with our number one receiver because he's pounding. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and even I know we didn't win, but that still would have been like a grimace on the game because it's like, bro,
it's something to build upon. Like I hope that the Cowboys and that energy they had, they can build off on it. Like they can take it into the short week. It's sometimes about the moral victories, and football 1-on-1 is to have short memory. Forget the play. Forget the play. Let's move on. That's why when they had to come back, but I was yelling at the TV. Forget everything else that's happened in this game. All that doesn't matter is this third down, this money down right here. You can forget everything, and we can't have that from our stars. It's a bad example.
Yeah.
The saying says, you can always tell somebody's true colors when it get dark out. You can always tell somebody's true intentions.
When you see how people act, that's when you get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and especially like I said, with this being the second time it's happening, like, bro, you gonna do this in the playoffs? Like both of these are regular season games, bro. How you gonna act in the playoffs if we behind? You feel me? Like, like you said, like you get to see who people are, and yes, people can change, but it's like I don't want it to divide the locker room. And I know it's not going to divide the locker room, but I'm saying like I'm sure guys get just a bad taste in their mouth again, especially Dak. Your QB1. It's like, bro, I'm having to keep coming to you and saying, hey man, like get your head in the game.
Not even that. Dak over there fighting for his life. Let's read the room. How about that? Read the field. Read the room. Like, I don't care about your. I don't care that you over here fooling with. I don't know. Like you stepped on the crack and it hurts your back. I don't care about that right now. I'm running for my life right now. I will get to you when I get to you.
First of all, I was with you, bro, but I had to be here. Like I ain't get to be off work. I'm not saying that CD had it good, but I ain't get to be off working out on my own. I still had to be here grinding out, working for my contract. I still had to wait to the last minute. And now you coming in with an attitude because you ain't getting the ball. I had to develop these relationships with these other guys because you couldn't be here, because you had to hold out. So now I'm having to develop everybody who isn't you, outside of Cooks and outside of Jake Ferguson. I'm having to bring everybody along behind an iffy offensive line. You know what I'm saying? With guys who are young and who still have to come along. So it's like, I don't need my wide receiver one who I need to be depending on to be giving me an attitude. I don't need you to be saying, oh, give me the ball when I'm having to scheme these other guys in. It can't just be around, because obviously you're gonna be double teamed. You're gonna be bracketed. So it's like, bro, like you said, read the room, like run with the program, bro. Like, although you got paid, you are the wide receiver one, you are the heart and soul of this offense, but you can't take that. You can't. In my own, you can't take that for hostage. You know what I'm saying? You can't take, oh well, I'm the number one. If I can't get it going, I think I heard his space earlier. Well, if I can't get it going, it won't go. Like, I don't want it to be like CD kind of takes that in his mind and says, well, hey, you don't give me the ball, well, it ain't gonna work. Like, you can't. We don't need you copping out the game, bro. We don't need you checking out. Not this early in the season. And not in this early in the game. I mean, like I said, it was the first half.
First quarter.
Like, bro, you mad?
Come on, bro. So yeah, shout out to Joe Tranquino, like for real. I hope Michael Irvin and this. Actually, I put out like a small little rant video last night. Somebody commented, it was very interesting. They was like, so y'all, he's just showing emotion. Dez did the same thing. And I had to check him. I was like, first of all, when Dez did it, CD's doing it and he's checking out.
Exactly.
Dez was trying to get everybody to check in. He was saying, hey man, Tony, look my way now.
Right.
Get your head up. I'm here. I'm blocking. He was still in it. He didn't. Yeah.
And like you said, not just him to get in it, but the whole team. Like we've been missing that energy on the sideline ever since. Like, guys got hyped. You know what I'm saying? The crowd gets hyped to see that. Like, when you see a guy who's passionate about the game and wanting to get everybody involved, and even, I mean, like I said, I was out at camp and even seeing, Trey coming back, being back on the team, that's inspiring, right? That's great to see. Like, me personally, I love seeing the relationship between Micah Parsons and Trey Dixon. You can feel that brotherhood. Like, we talk about camaraderie, within the locker room, but you can feel the love between them. So when they're at camp hyping up the crowd saying, hey, we're back, get into it, this, that, and the third, like, that makes the fans feel good. And that should, make the team feel good, make the team close to each other to where that way they can find that bond to be able to play for each other on the field. But it's like, that's what I want to see when these guys are behind, when they are down. Like, what do you do when you are behind? Like, what do you do when you are behind? I'm saying, when do you take that camaraderie or that brotherhood and use it as motivation to help you bring you back into this game? Like, when does that come forward? Like, we always see, I want to be a leader, but do you only want to be a leader when we're winning? Are you only a leader when we're doing good? You know what I'm saying? Like, no spite to the Cowboys, but are you only sending out signs of the sideline when we win? Because we sure don't get them signs of the sidelines when we lose. And I understand, we don't want to hit a curse. And we saw, the back and forth, with D-Law and Micah. I'm sure y'all don't want that out. But it's like, so like another thing with the culture. Like, okay, well, we ain't going to put out sides of the sideline because we don't want them knowing what's going on when we losing. Okay, so the players going, what I'm saying? They don't have that same mentality. So it's just like, they learn that it's okay, but we ain't got to show everything we doing bad. No, like, show, like, bring forth everything. Like, be real, be 100% real. Come forth and be true with everything. Like, say when we're doing good, oh yeah, I'm a leader. Yeah, I'm the heart and soul of this team. But when we're doing bad, okay, well, yeah, that's on me. I got to get the offense going. I got to get these other guys involved. Like, it's a two-way street. It goes both ways.
Yeah, man. So that's all we're gonna do on the offense. Let me Let's pay some bills real quick. Let's do
Yeah.
this ad. Hey man, this video, this stream is sponsored by Play Like a Live. Um, if you haven't, come over to my description, and I have instructions on how to download the app and how to join my league, Lose Takes. Uh, you can you can join right now. There's a promo code in the link below. Kickoff for the games. It's a trivia based. You put money in. You basically do trivia on, let's say, how many yards Tank Bisbee's going to have on his drive or this quarter. And if you're correct, you get money. Well, you get points, and all of the points go towards the pot. And you have a chance to win what's in the pot at the end of the season. So, shout out to everybody. Yeah. If you haven't already, man, make sure you like, share, subscribe. This is top tier content right here, man. This is top tier content right here. We shout out to everyone who's here to take the time out. And I see y'all in the chat. Y'all going crazy. I understand. We just here trying to find solutions, trying to point them out.
Because it's a short week, as we know. And I'm actually, it's kind of talking because really, honestly, like I was hit up to be in the spaces earlier, so I've pretty much been in spaces all day and just kind of be able to talk it out pretty much all day. Like, I'm definitely relieved that it's a shorter week because something to look forward to. A team that we're familiar with, but also just a chance for these guys to kind of rejuvenate themselves. Hopefully, it'll be a get back game. Like I said, someone we're familiar with that we should go in and dominate. But at the same time, like, I definitely want to see a turnaround. Like, I want these guys to be able to, like you said, short-term memory, right? I mean, we want these guys to be able to turn around and be able to bring into these next opponents. And really, no matter who's up, whether it's the Giants or whoever it's up next. I want to be able to see these guys to be able to take each game week to week, and whether it's a win or a loss, to be able to shed that and be able to move on to the next week.
Yeah. So let's go to the defense. What if I can tell you, I saw someone earlier who was like, oh, Zim's scheme is outdated. What if I told you Zim is not he has zero blame in this game? What if I told you that? Zero? I know. I would say probably 10, maybe, 30 for not, if he can truly bench players. But
right, that's one thing. Yeah. I mean, control. But that's one thing. If I'm wondering if, because we see him have a lot of leeway during the offseason, being able to bring in a lot, some free agents, his guys, his coaches, things like that. So I'm wondering if he's Jerry's going to stretch it out just a little bit more, or like okay, I'll let you have a little bit more leeway with some of these players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so watching this film, there's a lot more people that need to have some wrist injuries. That's all I'm saying.
Bro.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The defense pissed me off in this film. Shout out to Okoye Media. He did a live. He was pissed as well because football is 90% mental, 10% physical. Whether people know, it's all about beating your guy to the spot. The most athletic, the most freakish athlete guy is not gonna always succeed. It's who's watching the film, who's getting ahead, who understands it. It was a lot of mental lapses in his defense. And I'm very, very shocked because the Ravens did not run a complicated offense. Matter of fact, and I really hate when NFL players. Sorry, I'm getting a little.
No, you good? No.
I hate,
I
hate when pro players don't know what to do versus a college style offense. They was doing some triple option, and I got defensive ends. Micah, I'm talking to you. Yes, you are to blame too.
Yeah.
Not squeezing the line of scrimmage, overrunning it, just looking lost like you didn't go to Penn State before. Like you just forgetting your whole college. We got safeties. You know what? I already said it last week, and people were like, "Oh, you overreacting." Both them safeties better be benched this upcoming week. Both of them, and at least I am so sick and tired of Donovan Wilson. He does not fit this scheme. He's lost.
I had hope, and I had hope for Dono, but yeah, this game definitely it's definitely swung for the fences for me because Donald just looked lost, turned around. We already kind of knew he was kind of iffy in coverage. Just not even really that
It
doing
wasn't
that well
even
in
coverage
coverage,
this time. They threw the ball 16 times. His
right?
strong suit is coming down in the box, and he's overrunning the hole. That big run that happened when that's all over ESPN. You got your rookie stiff arm on the highlight clip for all eternity to see.
Oh
That
my
was
God,
supposed because of you,
yeah,
Donald.
I feel for Carson on that one. I'm like, yo, of all players, it had to be him on the meme. Like, come on, not Carson.
I will be getting on Dono for that because Dono fled from his gap and allowed Henry to go untouched. The linebackers, it was just poor tackling. We were just catching. Man, where's the heart in this
Reaching
team?
a lot of reaching, a lot of
Reaching,
reaching.
whiffing. Uh,
Man,
the DLs. Oh my god, the defensive line plays still lost. Linebackers not flowing. Just no one. Everyone's trying to play hero ball and
right.
not doing. That's why I said Zimmer's not really to blame because Zimmer's mo and his scheme is to not play hero ball. It's to do your job so someone else can eat. And I didn't
Yeah.
see that. Like especially like what was the play that sealed the game? Was it just an outside zone? Like it was a inverted zone. It was an inverted zone, and he pulled it too many times, and he went up on it. We'll talk about this defense.
I'm just honestly, I can't think of too many bright spots that were out there on the defensive side. I mean, like I said, I didn't get a chance to go too deep into detail on the 22, but just missed assignments. Like you said, number one with Micah, and I wasn't too crazy about his energy in the post game because,
Yeah,
like, I understand, like I did watch some of the clips on Twitter where he was sealing the edge, but like even just watching just regular game copy, you could see he was missing tackles. You could see he was whipping, reaching, and I'm like, bro, like I say, you in the right spot, but you're not in the exact same spot. Like I'm just like, bro, like these guys are running by you. Lamar running by you, Derrick Henry, you're reaching out for him too, and it's like, bro, it's and like you said, it got from the second level on to the safeties, and it's like I saw there was some reaching from Kendrick last week. When they played the Saints, and I'm like, bro, like, and he had a great week one, and it's just like, man, like to have that quick of a turnaround, I was kind of baffled, but it's like, now we see more guys reaching this week, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like a lot of misassignments, and I was hoping that Donald would kind of have like another year like he had in 2022, like you said. He's plays a lot stronger in the box, and I thought maybe him coming out to the line, and I didn't say it like on any of my shows, but I thought maybe he would probably be another asset, not necessarily a spy, nothing like that. But we need a hard hitter on Henry, right, to kind of stop before he reaches the line of scrimmage. I thought Donald would be great for that, but like you said, if just that miss, and that end up going for a touchdown. But it's like not saying all plays go for the touchdown, but for it to be that, like you said, for something that you specialize in, for it to end up in that big of a play, it's like bro, like. And for it to look that bad on film, like it's like not really a lot of bright spots, because in 2022, and I know last year he missed some camp and he was kind of coming off an injury he had, I guess, caught during camp. But it's like, bro, he had 6 sacks in 2022, and I'm like, dog, like I really wanted to see that Dono again this year. Not saying he would be the same, but I wanted to see that same type of energy, especially if you're coming down to the line to hit. If Zimmer's gonna do some blitz packages, I mean, Dono's the one that I would have wanted to keep, outside, and that's not keep outside of an Izzy or. But preferring to have him play the line of scrimmage by Izzy because he is a hard hitter. You know what I'm saying? I think we saw that week 1 or week 2. I think he laid a hit on I think Njoku that was. So I don't know if that was Hooker or not, but I just really thought that I know he doesn't fully fit to the scheme, but I thought maybe in that aspect, him being a hard hitter and playing more so at the line, that he would have been an asset in that manner. But it definitely wasn't a pretty game, but more so on Wilson, what I'm saying? Hooker, did make some tackles, and and just another bright spot I think I saw Mozzie make a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage as well. I was hopeful to see that, but then sometimes these little like flashes, flashes that you see are great to see, but it's like, man, like a lot of the bad, it kind of sucks when sometimes some of the bad outweighs some of the good that you do see in the game like this, because it's not good to see. Especially from guys who should be veterans or who are veterans who should be
Yeah.
playing like veterans.
Yeah, I mean, when they have all these mental lapses, I knew Donald wasn't going to fit. He's deteriorating. It's sad to see. And then also, I just understood Zim's scheme and how much the safeties play a part in that. Like, people
Yeah.
really forget how good Harrison Smith was for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
He was a very good in coverage. You got to be able to play a whole half of the field, be able to get sticky. He's asking you to do so much because the safeties, whether you like it or not, it gives in the scheme, it gives so much of our defense away to a smart quarterback, to a smart OC. It gives away our blitzes. It gives away our coverage. Like, too high, cover 2 and cover 4 look the same. One high, cover 1 and cover 3 look the same. It's just all. If we have tendencies of him struggling deep in coverage and he's back there one high, what are the teams going to do? What is the obvious check? Oh, let's go deep. Let's go. Let's attack the seams.
Right.
Especially
when you got Carson on the other side and you got Diggs by himself, you're not going to go Diggs 1-on-1. But yeah, they're sure. I mean, you saw it yesterday. They're going to attack Carson's side.
Yeah, I mean, football is not hard. It's a numbers game, and it's all about matchups. So, and if we understand that Donovan Wilson is struggling in one high, and we just keep him in one high as a disguise, we're obviously rolling into a too high. We're giving away our hand. So that's why it's important that we give these young guys burn. We need somebody who's gonna.
And what makes me even more mad, we seeing Wanya on special teams. Do you really want to risk? You know what I'm saying? And
I think he got hurt.
Decent return. Did he?
It was I heard someone say it was an ankle injury or something. It was something small. But yeah, like it already happened.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Like you need these guys are literally your depth, and you're gonna take your depth guy and put him at return when you have Turpin, who you're not really incorporating that much into the offense. So what's Turpin there for? What's Deuce there for? Deuce isn't getting snapped. Pretty much, you're giving Deuce 4 or 5 cents of running back. Have him be the second returner and have Wanya ready to go in there for when Malik or Daniel aren't doing well. Like that just really make me mad because it's just. I mean, that's how Sam Williams got hurt, right? Knock on wood. I don't want any guys getting hurt on special teams, but like, bro, like you didn't learn enough losing your starters for special teams. Now you're gonna throw Wanya out there. That just really. I mean, I saw it in camp, but I just thought that I saw it last year in camp, so I thought it was going to be just something we would just see. We need a body out there. We just need to see what we're practicing a new return, but I didn't legit. At least by week 3, I didn't think we would still see Wanya doing special teams. At least not doing returns. Like
that's the reason right there. Politics,
man.
I don't get mad. I don't fool with the politics. But when it's hard messing with my X's and O's, that's when I hit my tipping point. That's when I hit my tipping point. We're not gonna ever hit. So we're gonna continue to handicap ourselves.
Right, ourselves. Say it again, Lou, because it's even more frustrating because it's not like, I mean, granted we do face outside problems, but I'll say 80 to 85% of Cowboys' problems come from shout out to Burgers and Blitzes. Mikey, I think he always says the call's coming from within the house. Literally, the call is coming from the owner of the house, and there's no pun intended. And literally, the owner of the house is making the phone call. Like it's ridiculous, just how much we like. Just in the offseason alone, everything that the players have to go through. That they had, like you said, I wouldn't have never even thought of that. Shout out to you and Boss Cowboy. A hostile work environment. Now I know what that's like, but I didn't even think of that. I know these players. They get paid $1 million. They're playing football. Fans on the outside looking in may think, oh, they're playing a sport. They don't have to go through the same thing I'm going through. But yeah, like we gotta think about it in that aspect. Like I'm just trying to get my, I'm taking care of my family. I'm trying to get my money. But you got me out here trying to play a game. Granted, it may be preseason, it may be even be camp, but we're seeing more and more guys, and hopefully no more, knock on wood, but we're seeing more guys get hurt in practice. So, you know what I'm saying? You think these guys really want to have to deal with waiting till the 11th hour, literally, days before the season starts? Literally the season, not camp, not preseason, not even preseason, y'all, before the season literally starts. I'm just now getting my check, my salary. Imagine you working your job, having to wait till the last day of the year, and like, oh, okay, here's your check for the year that you already worked on. You didn't work the entire 364 years. On the 365th day, oh, here's your salary. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys already got to have that in the back of their mind, and then go out and play this physical game that they don't know when their next, what their next step, what their next snap could look like. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to remember that as fans. Like we may see the money side of it, or why this guy shouldn't be paid this, or why this guy should be doing this. But it's also like, and Jerry too, not just fans, but owners as well, and not just Jerry, because there's other owners out here who are just screwing the Panthers organization. Hello, like, and not just them. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So,
you're right.
You feel me? So it's like these guys have more than just these. Oh, I'm playing football and I'm getting paid. Like they have more than this on their mind. Like we just have to sit back, and these owners have to take that more to their mind as well. Like you're not just these guys are just running a team. Like you're running. Like these are human beings. Who are playing for their money. Who are trying to support their family and support themselves, because we know that, and just from what we see as fans, that even after these guys get out the sport, it could or could not be easy for these gentlemen who have played this physical sport.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. I'm just imagining if you was at your job and they call like a press conference with the public, and your boss give you a list of things that you better not say, or he got some dirt on you, or like, you know how they do. They do.
Right.
And he be like, we don't have a. He keep telling you we don't have a running back problem, and you looking at him like, we do. We don't. When they ask you, and they keep pressing you, they're gonna ask you 50,000 different ways. Right. You better not say we don't. And I said it. And you just look at him like,
you rank, your organization is ranked 32nd in the league before the season even started. Your running back room was ranked like 31st, 32nd in the league. So we don't have a running back problem. It's just like, bro, and now we're seeing it on the field. It's just like
he probably got to go over. He got to send the game script to Jerry. Jerry's like, I don't like the first 5, because usually, like, I don't know, like when I play football, they always script the first 15 plays is already written down.
Yeah,
I think they're doing it in pros, but it's already like we're going with this, and then after that, let's see how they react to this. Mm-hmm. He probably got to send his first 15 to Jerry, and Jerry's like, why Rico getting the ball 5 times? Is Rico getting paid $35 million a year? Did you see how much money they had me that he got me for? You better give. I paid you then to throw the ball, and you're gonna throw the ball 40 times, and you're gonna like it.
Right. I'm still here. I don't know. My camera went out. I don't know why.
Hostile work environment. But let's give our final thoughts on this team. It's been a great show. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. I saw y'all. Yeah, I went over it. Parsons yelling. D-Log told Parsons to shut the F up. I loved it because it's Parsons did a little bit. Parsons, my problem. I'm not as mad at Parsons as I was at CD, because Parsons at least like is taking some accountability. Parsons' problem, he's a finger pointer. He's a hero ball. He's a finger pointer. He's like, well, at least I'm doing my job. So he's a finger pointer.
I don't get that on Parsons' point. Like I don't know if he doesn't understand. I mean, I'm sure he understands. I mean, you're a professional player, but you understand how that looks. Like, I know you're not trying to put it on your team. I know you're not trying to make sure like you're passing blame, but every time you come out here and say, I shouldn't have to tell a grown man to do this, I shouldn't have to do this, I shouldn't have to do this, it's like, okay, so you're doing everything, but no one else is. Like, that's how you're coming off, and it's making it seem like I mean, we see on the film that no one is really being that successful. So how can you stand up in here and say, oh, well, I shouldn't have to do this, I shouldn't have to do that? Like who, what did you do yet last night to really affect the game to where you can stand up here and say that you did everything you were supposed to do?
So, yeah. So, my final thoughts is, we love this team. That's why we're here giving our critiques. If we didn't, I promise you, I would just be watching Monday Night Football and not giving an F. But this team is closer to being a competent team than a lot of people think. We're not totally in, the doghouse. A lot of our errors is mental errors and just preparation. Defense, if they just limit the big plays, this is a dynamically, different defense to the public. It's just Overshown giving up the Aguilar and Carson giving up. I can't even name these receivers that
Right, bro.
that
That
they
was
tackle.
cool, bro. Like Aguilar, like, and there's no slight to Aguilar, but bro, like
Like
Bateman, it's like guys you didn't like. You can't like. Granted, like that's one thing. That's one credit. Well, they just definitely deserve more than that credit, but that's a credit I'll give to the Saints and even to the Ravens. Like they got multiple guys involved on their offense. So no, you don't know who they're going to go to, but as soon as you forget about them, that's when they start blowing up. We saw Bateman, I think a couple catches, maybe 3 catches on us. Like you mentioned Aguilar. It's like, bro, like these are the guys. Like you can't just game plan for Zay Flowers. You can't just game plan for Lamar and Henry and be like, okay, we ready. Even if you did get prepared, like you can't forget about the other passing attacks that they have. So yeah, seeing Aguilar get that conversion, I'm like, that just like, because when Aguilar just the week before with the whole block for I think it was the Chiefs. I think for the Chiefs to be able to
or the Raiders
convert a first down.
Yeah,
I'm just like, bro, like.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Was it Burnett? But listen, we are really. I'm being completely honest. We're closer to a good team than we're seeing. A lot of the errors we see on film is not. Yeah, some of it is ability, but most of it is just mental errors, and we're not focused. I'm being completely honest. And look, it's a win-win for you. If we lose to the Giants, Jerry owe us a move. He already owe us a move, and he know it. You know how I know it? History repeats itself. That's why I love history so much. The last time was it 2018 or 2019? They came in, they was like, we're going to do wide receiver by committee. We're going to do wide receiver by committee. We went into the season bad. We look god awful. ESPN, Fox, tearing us alive. You know what they did? What they had to do? They had to trade for Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
They had to. They weren't going to do that. If we were being okay, we was just have our head above water, they weren't going to do that.
Right.
If we get to a certain point, they're going to have to make a big move. And it better be at least a DT, a defensive tackle. They're going to have to give up one of those perennial picks. So we love our picks. They're going to have to give up a second.
Right. That is a huge point. We actually that actually brought up earlier today in Spaces because there was I think I forget who brought it up, but someone brought up about the point about we see these teams kind of changing. We talk about the Lions, teams that didn't playoffs in so long. The Texans, we see certain turnarounds amongst these teams. New coaches, new players. Like we have new players. We have newer coaches, if you will. Like why haven't we changed? Well. We see these teams who are able to get these number one picks, right, or be able to, give up picks to be able to get these big players. That's because they, like you said, they got to a certain point where they had to make a move. Like, well, Jerry likes to keep us competitive, right? Jerry like in his own words, like to keep us.
It's the bottom line.
In the middle.
The bottom line. When that bottom line is effective, everyone. At the end of the day, they may be dumb when it comes to this football ish, but they are businessmen and they are very good businessmen. At the end of the day. If we are bad, we're not going to be talked about. And if we're not talked about, they don't make no money. We got to be just as good. They're going to have to make a move. Mark my words. We're going to be active before the trade deadline. Mark my words. This defensive tackle situation is blowing up in their face. I saw the comment earlier. He was like, "It's my mama shopping for Christmas on December 24th." or like getting Christmas presents with it.
Yeah, like when they went out and got.
That's what they did. That's what they did when they got Linval Joseph, and that's what they did when they got Jordan Phillips. They did it. They did not. They just said here, and the people it's all about the intentions behind the gift. This is blowing up in their face. Right. The Mozzie situation is not working out. They're gonna have to do it because if the Giants come in and Daniel effing Jones is running amok on us.
And no offense, but Devin Singletary, like a journeyman.
Devin Singletary,
if a journeyman is able to come in, or is able to run on us, that's gonna be a problem.
They're gonna get to a point. It's gonna be just like that graph. It's gonna be just like that graph. That you don't mess around and find out. It's gonna be just like that graph. But
well, I'll go ahead and get my final thoughts right quick. Mm-hmm. Like going into Thursday, like I said, I think I mentioned this earlier. Like I'm really gonna be looking at McCarthy. I want them not just as a bounce back game, but I want to see more creativity and I want to see more guys get involved. Later on down the season, of course, we know these teams. Even now and going forward, these teams are going to be bracketing CD, double teaming CD. I want to see more of Tober. I want to see more Lipke, more Turpin. It don't necessarily all have to be the same at the same time in the same game. It don't necessarily all have to be in this Giants game, but we got to get these guys going. I want to see tight end usage. Like I know for whatever reason, Brevin Spanford has yet to really come along like that. I know we were missing Jake
Shout out Hunter
last
Luki.
game, and shout out to Jake Ferguson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He definitely came back, with a force. Definitely happy to see that he's and he took a couple shots. I think he took a shot to his shoulder. He was kind of down. Hopefully he's okay. I know he came out in this game kind of banged up, so it's a short week. I really need them to kind of incorporate Schoonmaker a little bit more to kind of give Jake a break because although he's coming back from the injury he missed from last game. I think he really got banged up in this game, and we got to somehow. I don't know. If Brevin Spanford, we got to target him somehow, some way. I don't know in what situations. John Stevens, he was a full participant today in practice. So hopefully we can somehow get him involved in the game. Maybe we held him out, this past game because it was a short week. So maybe we can get him involved in the Thursday game. That's really my hope. I really want to get these tight ends involved because we're not late in the season. It's still early in the season, but after the bye week, them games really start rolling. You know what I'm saying? So when them games start rolling, I don't want these guys to still be trying to get the ball in their hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to still be getting, the jitters, to be getting the ball and not knowing what to do, or, dropping the ball because they're, nervous because it's their first time getting the ball on the 4th and 4. Like McCarthy, don't get the rookie involved on the 4th and 4. Like that's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So please get these guys more involved, and I just really want to see I want to see the playbook open a little bit more. Like we're gonna be facing tougher teams, after this week, of course, and then after the bye week. So I just want to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Start right. We should have been started, but start right now to be prepared for later down the stretch. Because although we are facing the playoff teams now, it does get, hopefully, fingers crossed, a little easier going down the stretch of the schedule. But we have to be prepared now because there's really going to be no let up. Once, of course, after the bye week, and then once we really start to get rolling, and hopefully, later down the stretch and get ready. Not talking too early, but the playoff runs it's already been a rough stretch right here for the beginning of the season because of our schedule. But so Cowboys, you can only imagine how playoffs going to be because these NFC teams are not. Fans were saying it all last year. The NFC was wide open. This is your chance to strike this, that, and the third. Well, you didn't take the chance, and now the NFC is coming back with a force. You feel me? So they don't have to get up on their game, Lou, because as we see the Saints, Saints, Buccaneers, all they did kind of whiff last week. Don't know what's going on with them, but they were 2-0. Got to give them credit. The NFC team, the Lions, the Vikings, somehow, some way, the Packers. You know what I'm saying? So the list getting long, Cowboys. So you didn't take the chance to take advantage last year. So it's coming back to bite us. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can be able to take advantage of the short week. Although it is short, take advantage of the opponent you're playing this upcoming week and just get more creativity going. And like I said, like you mentioned earlier, not gonna be too hard on the defense, but definitely want to see them come along too, because they have a new weapon over there in New York, and they not afraid to use it.
Yeah, stay tough, Cowboys fans. It's still early in the season. There's seasons within the season, whether you like it or not. It's not about how you start; it's all about how you finish. So keep the TV turned off until Thursday when we play. Hang tough at your jobs. Man, I thank you again for everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe the video,